Doctor Who news. There is a lot of new Doctor Who magazine comes out this week as well. They got a new special edition based around not Terror Sticks, Terry Nation. Thank you, Terry Nation. These special editions are normally pretty darn good. International Man of Mysteries. See, like Doctor Who magazine generally a bit shit this year, a bit shit nowadays. But their special editions are normally quite good, right? They're normally pretty darn good. What's that? All new content includes previously unpublished interviews, deep dives into all the nation's Doctor Who stories, and extract from script. Oh, don't make me want you. Don't make me want you, you bitch. Oh. Highlights include Terry Nason reflects on Doctor Who survivors and Blake Seven in a previously unpublished interview from 1901. Exclusive interview with Rebecca and Joel Nason growing up in with their famous father. Doctor Who writer and former showrunner Stephen Moffat plays tribute to Terry Nason, revisits an overlooked Dalek story. What's Dalek stories overlooked? Really? Planet of the Daleks, Death of the Daleks. No, that's not overlooked. What's the name? One with Reginald Squires. Day of the Daleks. That's fabulous. Again, I love the special edition. Well, what's overlooked? Evil of the Daleks, certainly not. Power of the Daleks. Dalek Master Plan. Genesis, Destiny. None of these are overlooked, right? None of these are overlooked. Wow, so I guess I've got to buy this to find out. Lost seems to some of Terry Nation's greatest scripts brought to life with new artwork. Kevin John Davis has described childhood memories of meeting Terry Nation in the 70s. The story of Nason's entire career from the 50s to the 80s, including his contributions to Out of the Unknown, The Saint, Avengers, and wow, this sounds pretty darn good. Every Terry Nation film, television, and radio credit compiled for the first time. Previously unpublished interview with Nation's friend and former agent Beryl Virtue. I bet that's good. The script development of every Terry Nation Doctor Who story, including some newly discovered drafts, plus more. When's this come out? Let's see how much it is. You can get it from Pocket Mags for $8.99. See, if it wasn't for the shipping, I would totally order it. I'm kind of tempted with this one. I really am. Are you going to show it to me? No, I guess not. Okay, never mind. That looks pretty good. That's about one of the few things that does look good in the world of Doctor Who right now. And Doctor Who is everywhere, right? Especially this story. I got it from like the most bizarre source possible, Fox News. Now I want to be, even though I am, I'm certainly not. Here's the thing: am I right wing? In some ways, I am. Right? I used to be progressive before they destroyed the word. Right? Genuinely, well, I always liked going. I love the New Virgin New Adventures because it was forging new ground. I love that sort of stuff. That's really where I am. But now I'm like insanely right wing. Having said that, I don't like Fox News. I think all corporate media is bad, right? I just want to go for the most mainstream source I can find, and that it got over here. This made more news than the actual Doctor Who did, which is crazy. Disney cancels Doctor Who, BBC collaboration fearing woke backlash report. Yeah, because it was shit, and it was woke shit, and it was sick of woke shit, right? And that's Disney saying. Disney is backpedaling so hard from woke. They're doing their best. They really are. They are backpedaling as fast as they can. And they got quite a way to go, so they were so insanely woke. Disney Doctor Who co-production fails to admit declining ratings. Well, that is the problem. It would have been one thing had it worked, right? But it didn't, right? And that's the thing you got to wrestle with. It just didn't work at all, right? The BBC confirmed that its co-production partnership with Disney on Doctor Who franchise has ended, according to a new report. And again, that they didn't announce a new streaming partner, I think is because they can't sell it to anyone in the state it's in, right? The rumors, then we're going to get into them later in the show, that Rusty Davis is doing this one episode to wrap everything up and essentially put everything away, put all the toys away in the box So somebody new can take over, and the new person take over is now. I thought it'd be Pete McTighe, right? I thought Pete McTighe was a shoo-in if they continue with this kind of production. Apparently, Jack Thorne is the front, not the front runner. He's heavily rumored as having the gig for a 2027 series. And again, I'll remind you, effects costs should be like nothing. Like should be like 10% of what they were. Right, the whole effects budget is just done. You don't give if you don't have money. That's where you save. That's the first place you save. Right? AI effects, as we've looked at long and hard. Right, that is 100% where you save money. So again, I can't imagine. Like, look, when it gets to like we need to cut costs. That's the place to do it. All right. But anyway, so Deadline spoke with sources saying that the various reasons why the deal ending, including concerns surrounding a woke backlash. No, not a woke backlash, the woke backlash. It happened. I can't believe Rusty Davis said, "Oh, we only moved it 1% to be more queer." No, you fucking didn't. Again, Russell, for most people, right? Most people thinking a 60-year-old man meeting a stranger in a club and fucking them is degenerate, right? Most people think that, right? Most people think 60-year-old men should be, having grandchildren and like not fucking around like he's an 18-year-old anymore, right? And it's not, and they feel it's degenerate. That's how detached you are from the basic morality of the human race. It was pretty apparent from earlier this wasn't going to be for long term. Everyone got the impression that it wasn't doing what it needed to do on Disney Plus to be sustained. A former Disney executive told Deadline. Yeah, look, and I think they gave it a fair whack. They put a ton of money into marketing that first season, right? They wrapped trains in New York with Shooty Gatwa wearing stockings, and about to tongue kiss Jonathan Groff. Right? I'm sorry, it was unrecognizable as Doctor Who. If somebody liked Doctor Who, they wouldn't like that, right? And I think most people who say they like it, like that they ideologically agreed with it, and they liked that. And I think they were scared not to like it, because if you didn't like it, that means you're an evil right wing, alt-right, far right, right? That's what it would mean. And I think people didn't want to be far right. So they convinced themselves they like the Jodie era, and now there's been several years under the water, under the bridge, several years gone since Jodie Whittaker. People are conning themselves it wasn't unbelievably shit. Like, no, I don't care how many times you tell me everybody loved it, it was great, it was normal. It wasn't. You're lying then, you're lying now. It was shit then, it's shit now. And it was shit then because she was horribly miscast. And it was terribly written, right? It's just like, it was just bollocks, right? I am sorry. There was really little to recommend it, especially in terms of the Doctor or script. And that's why it died a fucking death, right? I mean, even with the strangely inflated BBC ratings, it died a death, right? And I think I think it was essentially cancelled until they got Rusty Davis in to put together the Disney deal, and which he was very instrumental in, right? How unlikely is the BBC will be vetting Davis' script? What's stopping him just writing more of the same? I don't know. Nothing. That was David Mullen. I don't know. I do not know. And again, it's not like they'll say, no, don't make it queer. Right? Of course they're going to say make it queer. That's what they live for. Right? But you know what here? Let's move over to here for a second. And this is a real normie's view from the inside the entertainment industry of where Doctor Who is holding. Where is this thing? No, not that one. Oh, this is it. Fine. So this is the TV Insider podcast with Jimmy Mulville and I think Peter Fincham, who used to be the Director General of the BBC. It was towards the end they were talking about it.
Oh, and then that was the beginning of the end of that chat show.
So let's just say a bit more detail on the Strictly departure. Because
talking about Strictly?
If it is Holly, then Darren got there.
Should we move on before you start?
I think we should.
And again, this is people who high up in the TV industry who clearly have no idea what they're talking about. Like, clearly have no idea. But it's you get to see inside their minds, which is a strange place to say.
My appearance. Having a go at me.
Never. Okay. I think we should get another envelope.
All right. Owen, wake up. Envelope me, Owen. Says Disney exits the TARDIS. Oh, we know what this is.
Yeah, we do.
The BBC have announced that Disney Plus will no longer be involved with with Doctor Who. Disney have partnered the BBC for the last 2 seasons, and the upcoming spin-off titled The War Between the Land and the Sea, which is not very Doctor Who-ish, but...
Exactly. I mean, again, that thing you pick up straight away, it's not very Doctor Who. You should have seen the TV show. It wasn't very Doctor Who-ish either.
But the co-pro, it doesn't seem to be working for Disney, and each episode now costs about £10 million an episode.
I don't believe that.
And the ratings have been, well...
And it looks like shit. And they're only, 40-minute episodes? It looks like shit.
Underwhelming on the BBC, and it hasn't been doing much business on Disney Plus, on their streaming services.
See, I don't know. I'm being mean saying it looks like shit. It doesn't look like 10 million. Okay, it doesn't look like 10. Again, do AI effects. It doesn't look as good as that, right? And it certainly doesn't look as good as in the Jodie years, which I think it really had a massive upgrade in quality, right? And again, I'm loath to say anything good about the Jodie years because I don't want people to think I think it's good. It was awful, but man, did it look good, right? I think the moment the last time I watched it thinking it could be Doctor Who was the second episode where you had that spaceship crashing, a really stupid cliffhanger, right? But man, that really bought it with those effects.
In the US, it's kind of flopped over there. Lindsay Salt, who is
flopped over here too,
the head of drama at the BBC, thanked Disney. And the quote is, for being terrific global partners and collaborators over the past 2 seasons. Now, if you subtitle that, what she was saying would be, fuck. Shitty.
That's a fair point.
Shitty, fuck.
That is like thanking the person you're about to get divorced for being an excellent
partner
for the last 15 years. Yeah. That sort of thing John Cleese says.
Yeah, all the time. But it must be a bit of a torpedo in the side of the ship here, because that's a big withdrawal of funding. But the BBC have confirmed the show will continue without Disney, and we'll go back to the Daleks, and we'll return with a Christmas special in 2026.
Right. One of the only things that Rusty Davies could do that will be actually good is to make AI kosher for the purple-haired weirdos that follow him everywhere. Right, so we went to kind of budget, and then AI was just developed, and it's perfect, exactly what we want. Again, I showed this earlier in the stream, but I don't think you can look at this often enough, because how do you take shit and make it look good? AI, look at this again, fantastic. Yeah, I mean that's the way to go, baby.
Davis, who, as we know, famously revived it from being something that Michael Grade cancelled because he thought it looked so shoddy compared to the...
He didn't like it, Michael Grade. He put it in Room 101, didn't he?
He put it in Room 101. He got booed by the audience.
Yeah, because people love Doctor Who. But look, if you get the season 22 Blu-ray box set, there is a fantastic interview with Matthew Sweet to Michael Grade, and everything Michael Grade says is 100% correct. Right, it was like, I love Colin Baker. I love Nicola Bryant. I really love Nicola Bryant. I love the pair of them. I think they're great. Right,
Rabbi, you're a very naughty boy.
That has been mentioned. But like the quality of that season was just off. It was put clearly. What's his name? Eric Saywood had no interest in being there, hated being there, which is why I think it all fell apart.
And but he said, Paul Merton said, "Why did you cancel it?" He said, "Because it was rubbish."
Is it heretical to say I'm slightly with Michael Grade on this?
Well, no.
But here's the interesting bit. It shows you the inside attitude of the BBC.
All right.
Oh, it is heretical. It's been a brilliant show.
Let's unpack it. Let's unpack this thought, because I think when they revived it, we all went, really? And then
I didn't, and I was with Rusty Davis as well. He said it was going to be great, and boy, did it explode.
And we saw it with Christopher Eccleston, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
and I watched it with my kids who were in their late, 9, 10.
And then it got even better with David Tennant.
And David Tennant came along and just knocked it out the park, and it was a must-see event on Saturday evenings.
Yeah, them were the days. I think it got even better with Matt Smith, frankly.
And then it just kept going, and it kept the Doctor keeps regenerating. Clever format, because when the actor gets bored or gets a bit antsy, you can just regenerate them.
Oh, really? I hadn't thought of that. That's very interesting.
And turn them into something else. But the complaint is that, a lot of the press have said, maybe a bit of right-wing press have jumped on it saying,
No, it's not right-wing press. It's normal people press.
One of the reasons is that Doctor Who's become very woke. And so that
it has. That the Dead Ringers sketch, didn't that spell it out clearly enough?
Playing around with it too much for the core audience, and it's kind of the figures have gone down. The last episode of Doctor Who season 5 aired in May with Ncuti Gatwa leaving the show, and
season 2 or season 6 was it? What was it? 11, 12, 13, 14, season 2 or season 15?
The Doctor regenerating into Billie Piper. Billie Piper's great.
She's great. She was with David Tennant, wasn't she? In the days when you had the Doctor, and then you had a kind of sidekick who
they were the perfect pair.
Who was a woman, but
again, these people clearly known. These are not Doctor Who fans.
But I don't know. When I was at the BBC, I've got to be honest.
Who was the Doctor Who when you were?
David Tennant. I think Christopher Eccleston had gone by then.
Well, you were lucky.
Doctor Who was kind of like religion at the BBC. You criticised anything to do with it at your peril, and the reason was
it's completely opposite from the 80s. Right? It's so bizarre. It's completely opposite from the 80s.
Because it was getting to a younger audience. Not that much younger. Not as young.
Yeah, no, it's not. And they got this fictional audience they think they're going to get to. And they're just not interested in the shit you're making. Okay, you want to get to a younger audience? I think you should do an experiment. As I've been saying for a long time, make episodes directly for social media. Make them for TikTok, make them for YouTube, make them for Instagram, right? Have them in 5-minute chunks, right? Like Night of the Doctor. But today's scriptwriters, and again, I understand this from Luke Evans, from Dan's streams, that they're told to write it so you can look at your phone at the same time as watching it, right? And so they're just dumb. They make them much, much dumber, right? And I think write Doctor Who as Doctor Who, right? Intelligent science fiction with like a very warm, fluffy edge. I mean, good. Just get that season 13 box set out. Watch Pyramids of Mars.
Young as you might think. I remember being shown research saying that the average age of Doctor Who to the mid-2000s was 43, which is not exactly the teen audience.
That certainly sounds correct.
Because the overall BBC One audience average age was like 59. So, but then they're significantly younger. And then there was a sort of attempt to create a kind of wider Doctor Who universe. There were spin-offs being commissioned all over the place. There was Torchwood.
Yes,
remember Torchwood?
I remember that.
Then there was the Sarah Jane Adventures, which was aimed more specifically at kids.
And again, this was Rusty Davis. Just like, this is why I thought this era would be good. Like everything he did well, right? He really, every creative decision knocked it out the park. Every creative decision now, he had no idea. Like everything he did was wrong. And
other things like that have gone on. And I can only say, which is, I know, Doctor Who at its best is absolutely fantastic, and Russell T Davies is a truly brilliant, writer.
He was, again. You see, they're not looking at where he is now. They were looking at where he is on a spreadsheet.
But there was something about what surrounded Doctor Who that you couldn't regard it like you would other drama commissions.
You couldn't criticise it.
You sort of couldn't. And I can remember there was.
Well, again, I think Eccleston to Matt Smith, there wasn't that much to criticise. And then Capaldi, I love Capaldi a lot, but those seasons were weaker. I loved his last season. Most people say that. Most people don't. But, I'm a contrarian sometimes.
It was a hugely successful crime series at that time called New Tricks.
I remember.
And it was getting like 10 million viewers a week. But I was gently encouraged to decommission it in order, I think, to put the money into another Doctor Who spin-off in pursuit of this policy of saying, let's get to younger audiences.
Well, I wonder what that's been, because Rusty David talked about Rose Tyler Earth Defense as a spin-off one time for the alternate Earth. Rose Tyler, and then Rusty says, "No, I decided it was too much." Maybe that was that, and it was actually him deciding it was too much,
and kind of resisting it and saying, "Why would I decommission that? Because those 9 or 10 million viewers are loyal BBC license payers who love that show
because it wasn't cool,
and they're not cool and they're not young, but they've got a right to be entertained as much as this elusive audience that we're in search of."
Again, because you're looking in the wrong places, because you're all focused and you have no idea what you're doing.
Of kind of young, cool teenagers. So you're kind of aiming this thing possibly at a vanishing audience.
And it's slowly vanishing. The average overnights now are 2.3, consolidating. Overnights aren't the be-all and end-all anymore. We know that because of the streaming.
No, but they're a guide to what the eventual audience will be.
But it only consolidates to 3.8. And for context...
And that consolidated means I don't even think those numbers are right. Hang on. Doctor Who ratings. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm on the wrong year. Which 1 second. Doctor Who ratings accumulator. That's what I look up. 2020. No, 2025. That's the one I want to find. Not 2024. There we go. Yeah, we don't get close. Was it? Let's have a look. The overnights were down to the lowest they got is 1.5. Right? They were never 2 point something. They broke. That's how they broke 2 million was the season finale 2.17. With a consolidated 3.44, and I don't trust the consolidated, not in the slightest.
Previous Tennant series in averaged 4.8 overnight, consolidating at 7.2. That's nearly half the audience.
Yes.
The Jodie Whittaker series in 2018 averaged 4.7. So that audience is dwindling.
Yeah, because do you notice when he started making it shit, nobody was really interested?
But the BBC...
I'm saying calling it shit isn't fair. Woke shit.
They've also invested massively in it in terms of the infrastructure in Cardiff. They built this huge studio.
Well, this is built by Bad Wolf, isn't it? Bad Wolf is an independent company.
Yeah, but they use that for a whole bunch of stuff. Dark Materials.
Company run by Jane Tranter, who was the head of drama when I was at the BBC and was my colleague.
And who recommissioned.
And who...
Doctor Who.
Absolutely.
And now owns a production company that has the sole production contract. She has the production contract to do Doctor Who. So... Yeah,
so they're not leaving Bad Wolf.
Listen, what I'm saying is that they are very vested in making it work because it's very enmeshed. You've got the studio, you've got Jane Tranter
and the BBC are now saying the Doctor Who's going nowhere, he will be back, she will be back.
They're doubling down on it.
But without Disney, that's a huge slug of money you've got to replace.
It has become a bit like the furniture. And when you compare it with what Disney do on kind of like Mandalorian, which I'm not sure how much that costs, but can it cost more than £10 million?
Looks like it. Mandalorian looks significantly better than Doctor Who.
Pounds an episode. It does look better. I mean, in terms of production value.
Yeah. But Disney themselves have been much criticised for remaking old Disney classics and giving them a kind of woke makeover, or what people perceive as that.
Yeah, now they're like full reverse from that. Like, run away!
In other words, using them, if you like, as vehicles to preach to the world about how the world should be rather...
Exactly. And boy, again, these people have no clue what they're talking about are able to see what the problem is because it's so obvious. It's like when they say the two people stabbing people on the train, they were just normal English people. Nothing strange about them at all. Could they be Muslim wedding pictures? I didn't notice.
And how it is.
Do you think because you've commissioned it, you know what the audience is who watch Doctor Who, are they preoccupied with, transgender rights and non-binary characters? And
a tiny minority of them are that scream and scream and scream, and a lot of them have forced away. Like a combination of them and the absolute shit show that is Doctor Who have forced away normal fans from it, right? So and they become a larger majority because of that, and that's what they wanted.
Diversity.
Well, I'm sure we're oversimplifying here, but I don't know.
No, you're not.
Think about it a lot. I mean,
all right. Let's look at it from a personal point of view. When you and I were kids and we watched Doctor Who, what do we want? We want to be frightened. Yeah. It was terrifying. Daleks. We would have nightmares thinking about Daleks, exterminating us. I don't remember having any sense at all in which it was trying to shape my view of the world.
It didn't get into gender politics much.
it didn't. No,
it was either.
It didn't happen at all, but at least they had the good grace of making a good bloody show.
We are talking about the 18th century here when we were kids. They certainly didn't have budgets of £10 million an episode.
And I've got to say, the earlier...
£12 and 10 shillings.
The Christopher Eccleston, I remember,
Oh, they're very, very good.
And George, he was my middle son, who was little at the time, but he would have to run out the room. He would run out the room when it got too scary.
Yes, that's what Doctor Who should be like.
Yeah, and that is one of its purposes. And after Russell,
Doctor Who should scare you like a microbe following in a park. Is what I'm saying. They should be that scary.
T. Davis, other very distinguished writers took on the franchise. So Chris Chibnall made.
Again, they just made Broadchurch have no clue what they're actually saying. Right, they're detached from reality completely, which makes them TV executives.
Broadchurch,
great writer.
Stephen Moffat.
Yes, genius.
Sherlock.
I think Stephen Moffat's a genius.
So it's been in the hands of really brilliant writers.
2 out of 3.
And
one's totally off the ball.
Russell T. Davis is a brilliant showrunner.
He was, and then he fucked this in the arse relentlessly.
Tranter, brilliant producer. But is it something that, however much the BBC want to say it's core to our mission, as I say, it's a sort of religion, you can't actually stop it going down. Is that the case? I don't know.
Is it too big to fail?
Well, that we'll find out. But
I don't think it is too big to fail. I mean, honestly, I really don't. I do think there's going to be a new series in 2027. I think that's quite likely. But that's just what I think, ladies. That's what I think. You know what? Sometimes you need to make contact with another mind out there in the ionosphere. I always look for the best, ladies. I always look for the best. Maybe my next guest will be able to help me find the best, because he is, of course, Birmingham's King of the Geeks. Dan Hadley, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, looking, you might have to make do with me for the time being.
I guess. We will muddle through, right? We will muddle through. They're totally out of the Doctor Who world, right? And they're like, is he going to make it?
Oh, those two guys. Jimmy Morville and Peter Fincham, I think it is, on that podcast. Which it's a very, very dull listen. But to be fair,
I like to hear the insights from the other universe.
Those episodes, those early episodes of Last of the Summer Wine, where they all sit in the library reading the newspaper. It sort of reminds me of that.
The later episodes did as well.
They're insufferable in the later episodes are horrendously but those two gentlemen have been working in TV between them for a very, very long time. They know all of the same people, and of course everything. It was quite strange to hear somebody at Peter Fincham's level, not exactly dismissive of wokeism and identity politics, but to not immediately think that this is a good thing. Green light, green light, green light. What on earth could be the fucking problem? There was none of that kind of thing. It was very frank, very open.
In front of the idol of whatever, transgenderism or woke, whatever. Yeah, there was none of that.
Yeah. So I watched that the other day when it dropped. I think it was Friday morning or something like that. Again, some of the things that they speculate. You can see these guys, they know people and they know the industry, but they probably don't know as much as some of us do.
They probably don't. They don't.
And the stuff that they think they know about the situation with Disney, it's perfectly reasonable. They think the things that they do, but there's more to it going on. Even now, it's all the things that I'm hearing are pretty explosive. But yeah, Doctor Who, the intention is for a fresh series to be on in 2027. So probably late in 2027. But it'll be on.
So I was contacted by 3 different people this morning, right, when I woke up, saying the hot name is Jack Thorne to run the show. Which I was surprised about. I really thought Pete McTighe was, if they're going to carry on with Bad Wolf, Pete McTighe will be the guy. And I felt kind of bad for him, even though I'm really mad at that episode he wrote, right? I do feel bad for him. But Jack Thorne's an interesting choice. What do you think?
It's Pete McTighe.
Yeah. You still think Pete McTighe?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I can see the BBC really wanting Jack Thorne, right? He did Adolescence.
I know.
I'm sure they love.
But it's Pete McTighe. I've been telling people for weeks. It's Pete McTighe. I can see why people are looking to Jack Thorne, but and obviously Jack Thorne's association with Adolescent. I mean, Jack Thorne's done a lot of stuff, mostly on the stage. To be honest, not a great deal of TV. And this is another reason why I wouldn't really take it too seriously. Jack Thorne has next to no experience on that kind of level at all. He's a writer, he's a playwright, he's this, that, is the other. He's done plenty of. I think he has. I think he worked with Bad Wolf on. He might have worked on Discovery of Witches. I don't know, but he's very, very closely tied to J.K. Rowling and the Wizarding World and all that kind of thing too. But he hasn't got that kind of experience to run a show like Doctor Who. And then there's the second point. The most important fact is that it's Pete McTighe. So it's not Jack Thorne. I can see why people are looking there, and it'll play very well with our side of the aisle because he was responsible for Adolescence, and lots of people will get lots of clickbait out of that Adolescence man to show run Doctor Who, and then they'll forget about it, and they'll probably forget about the fact that I've said it's Pete McTighe.
What do you think a Pete McTighe season would look like? Because you know his work better than me by a long way. You know that the show he wrote you thought was great. What was that show?
Wentworth. It's absolutely fantastic. The problem is, what makes it slightly difficult to see is it depends on what kind of model that he's going to inherit. If it's going to be, I think that 8 episodes is too few of Doctor Who. I think it needs to be at the very minimum 10 to get up any head of steam.
Honestly, it needs to be 12. 12
unless they abandon the 45 to 50 minute format entirely, which again is feasible. I'd probably do that, but is it likely that they'll do that? Probably not.
I wouldn't.
For example, if they haven't got a global streaming platform whereby people can click on the episode, and as long as it lasts between, say, 28 and 43, 45 minutes, all's fair. If they're looking to sell it back to ABC in Australia and BBC America and back to kind of analog TV, if they're not going to have a global streaming home, then they will be locked into that 45-minute format. Don't doubt that.
I think I heard this on your last stream on Thursday. That was it. Luke saying that what's his name, Piers Wenger, before they went with Disney, had a thing lined up where he could get $5 million an episode from different sources. Was it here on your stream? I can't remember.
Probably, yeah. I mean, Luke, yeah, that's the first time. I mean, I do know that Piers Wenger was and is, because of course, it being the BBC, Piers Wenger failed massively in his role as BBC head of drama. So naturally, they promoted him.
Yes, exactly. That's how it worked to the BBC. Yeah. Have you destroyed much today? Well, very good, sir. Here's more money.
So I think he's like president of the universe now. He's probably sat on a big chair like the one that Ming the Merciless had in Flash Gordon. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, because Wenger was obsessed, and he got involved. Oh, who was that now? Okay, so Piers Wenger was the guy effectively who closed down BBC America. Okay, so again, I have this on really good authority. Piers Wenger, he was a major factor in why the thing between BBC Studios and BBC America just completely disintegrated, and why BBC America doesn't really exist anymore. It doesn't have any brand recognition. and it was largely due to the interference. And something that was working really, really well, some big fat dickhead from the BBC steams in. Oh, let's see what I can do to make it better. And within 3 years, it's through the floor. Yeah,
people are absolute morons. So look, I say McTighe. Is McTighe? Is that the correct way of pronouncing it?
McTighe, I believe, but I could be wrong.
All right, so there's a lot to recommend him, frankly. If you watch the behind the sofa things that he's been on, he knows his Doctor Who very, very well. He knows it as well as someone like Stephen Moffat, right? He did ones with what's her name? Oh God, she wrote this shit story, The Witchfinders, and she refused to wear any makeup. She looks like absolute hell.
Oh, Joy Wilkinson.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, she looks like she sandpapered her face before she came on camera. Like oh God, I've never seen somebody look more scary.
Well, she was the first trans woman to write for Doctor Who.
She's a trans woman?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I just thought she was ugly. She can't be a trans woman. They all like slap on tons of makeup.
Well, I think that Joy Wilkinson transitioned a number of years ago before all of this.
Like a real trans person. Like the...
doesn't make a fuss about it.
Schultz. What were the name of the people who did The Matrix?
Yes. Yeah.
So again, it depends how much he's ideologically captured, and it seems like very much. But will that be tempered by the absolute failure?
I'd say I'm a fan of his work. He's not a big fan of me, by all accounts I've heard.
Well, I mean, as he wrote you an avatar onto his episode, and Shooty Gatwood tell you off.
Oh, actually, did he write that one?
Yes.
Did he? Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yes. And other than that, it was also a shit episode that made no sense whatsoever.
I forgot that was him.
It was a really bad episode of Doctor Who. Like, really epically bad.
No, I'd forgotten about that.
A lot worse episodes of Doctor Who, but it was really epically bad.
I've just interviewed. This is a tease. Oh, I shouldn't do this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to
tease. You know I love it, baby.
Well, I've just interviewed someone for a podcast that's going to drop at some point, hopefully before the end of this month. A fascinating man. Now he's not connected with Doctor Who on TV at all, right? So imagine my shock when he suddenly starts telling me stuff about people on the show as well. It's perfectly, and it'll be part of the show. So he starts telling me stuff about people who are very high up in Doctor Who now, and I had no idea. So if that's not worth a sub over at Type 40,
that's a massive tease. I mean, look, it really depends. It depends if anyone's seen Sense and whether, like, because he's going to be writing it now, and I just hope he's got that chip off his shoulder.
Talk about Russell or the new showrunner.
No, if he's in the running, right, and if he's going to be the guy,
he's so already far. Writing. Well, I would imagine that most of the people who were kind of into it have probably got stories in their back pocket, treatments for stories, things that they've been working up and talking and thinking through for a long time. As I understand it, they're still some way off actually going into any kind of real
right. No, I don't think he's actually done official scripts yet, but I think he's like just like you would be if you're taking over Doctor Who, you will be formulating seasons.
I wouldn't even put my hat in the ring unless I'd got, for argument's sake, half a season's worth of stories as reasonably firm ideas at the front of my head. That I can say, okay, I did this, that, and that. Mummy on the Orient Express. I'd have Shakespeare meeting vampires. I'd have, you've got your bang.
In fact, if you can find it, there was Andrew Pixley did he stopped doing the the Matrix data whatever the archive feature, right? When he did that's before they replaced it with the Facts of Fiction in Doctor Who magazine. And then for the new series, the reboot series, the revival series, I should say, they made like specials, right?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. So if you find the special for the Christopher Eccles season, it's got in it Rusty Davis's log lines for like the season, like his season plan on one piece of paper. And I would imagine he's done something like that. So Funky Evans says, hang on, so Conrad was in Lucky Day was actually Dan? Yes, obviously. Now, look, if they do have to tighten their belt, it seems to be a great time to do it, because do you think this is where AI effects could become made kosher to the purple-haired weirdos of the world?
By making it part of a transmitted program?
Yeah, just say, we're not going to do traditional effects, we're going to do AI effects.
I don't know the BBC's position on artificial intelligence, because I know that when Big Finish started using it for cover artwork, and they were only using it partially, there was a real uproar. Yeah,
because they cultivated an audience of absolute insane weirdos, right? And they keep actively cultivating it.
I don't know whether the decision to undo that and create new artworks was pressure from the audience or a request from the BBC. I couldn't say. I don't know. Have any information?
It seems to me, if you want to have high quality effects at a 5% of the budget, you know. I mean, this is the third time I'm showing this clip today.
My guess would be that the BBC would look to move into AI actually pretty quickly, largely, particularly in the light of their kind of constant, because even though the BBC aren't skint, how they manage to get by, how they grift, is by pleading poverty at every quarter. So, as you quite rightly say, for the most part, this is the long-term projections for it will be that it's going to work out substantially cheaper. And so that to get to a point where the BBC would have to justify them not using AI to realise certain...
I'm not sure you've seen this. Again, this is the third time I played at this stream, right? This little clip from Warriors of the Deep, which I think just improves it massively.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and again, when I messaged you yesterday, I told you I spent a lovely evening editing the new AI effects into Terror of the Zygons, which are so much better, so much better, the AI effects than the ones they put on the disc, right? Just crazily better, and it seems to be like they're not sure if they're doing the Blake 7 box sets are coming out slower than predicted, right? I thought they were getting 2 a year minimally, and it's slowed down. Obviously, I think it's a budgetary thing, and it's cost a lot of money to make those effects, remake those effects. Do it with AI. I mean, I
haven't heard. I know that initially they were talking of Blake 7 twice a year, but there is only 4 series, and so maybe it is wise to put one out each year. There's only so much money that people have. Maybe it is wise that they're doing it like this, because to me it seems like 5 minutes ago that series 1 came out. So I haven't particularly been counting the months for the second lot. Again, I'm very wary. I'm wary of pretty much every decision that's coming out of the BBC now since the season 13 stuff.
See, I think it's more dangerous for them not to use AI than it is to use it, frankly.
Because for everything that I've just said about AI, I don't think it should be anywhere near archive material. Really, I mean, I think it's different if you want to tune up telesnaps, for example, but actual episodes that exist in full in a more than adequate mode format.
For me, I just get a better more entertaining experience. Like when I see the original Scarus, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell? Ah! You know, yeah. Again, I'm sure you've seen this. Having
noticed, MJ's work on Zygons is by far his best work, his most sensitive, successful work so far. And he's attempted bigger things, and there's some really beautiful, stark imagery. But I think this is the most successful thing he's ever done.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's stunning. Right? And again, remember the visual effects from the Shooty era? I think Luke said this as well. Man, I'm just repeating everything he says this week. That the quality of effects I thought were higher in the Jodie years. Frankly, I thought the show looked significantly better in especially second episode when you got that spaceship crashing to Earth. I thought that looked fantastic. But this looks similar to it. Really impressive.
So you know that I refuse to rewatch the Jodie Whittaker episodes on religious grounds.
I don't blame you.
But from what I can remember, it did have a certain look about. Oh God, look at that!
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, and I think they would, if they got to economize. This is the only way to go. All right, it really. I mean, like, you could spend, $50,000 on that shot or $50. What would you go for?
No, I thought when you talked about AI a moment ago, I thought you were sort of looking towards future seasons of the actual show.
No, the visual effects.
I don't want them putting this stuff anywhere near the season box sets myself. I've got no interest.
No. I'm talking about moving forward with the new series.
Oh, it was right the first time. Oh, yeah. In that case, then I can't really see any reason why not.
Right,
I think it represents the best return on investment for the license fee payer, unless they're going to finally admit, of course, that none of the money from the license actually goes towards Doctor Who, come to think of it, because it is an independent production. So the license fee doesn't really come into the equation. But I think if you're looking at the BBC writ large, and if they were making more sci-fi, and for some of their visual effects departments, maybe they would look at doing that. Again, they've got to justify the use of public money.
It just seems insane not to be, right? Anyway, speaking of insane, before we wrap up, we've got to head off soon. There's a whole bunch of Reddit rumors, and I think they're all insane, right? Have you seen these? These are hilarious.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, most of it's mental. I mean, it
really is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that some of it's not true. Some of it might be true, but the stuff that I've seen is mostly hilarious and way off the mark. And it's one thing to take something with a pinch of salt. You might as well point and laugh at most of this, because nothing's the only things that are ever written to a state of completion, Russell scripts for season 3, that's not happening. So anyone that says they know this stuff, I'm afraid that they are pulling a fast one. They're pulling a plonker.
I would say what we know. I'm not even going to bother with the stuff they don't know yet. What we know, the upcoming special was a 2-parter. No, it's not. Don't believe you for a bloody second. Right? They would have told you if it's a 2-parter. They want to.
You just know now, the way that they are pitching this tent, this is all going to be full of wishful thinking. You can just tell.
Yes, and look, after some consideration, I really believe the whole function of this one episode is to clean everything up, put the toys back in the box, so Pete McTighe or whoever can start afresh, right? And
they're going to hope that whoever's taking the time out of their Christmas day to watch this won't have quite sobered up by the time the end credits roll.
That's exactly right. Okay, so they're going 2-parter, expected on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Bollocks. Rachel Talali and Keith Boak. No way is Keith Boak. Keith Boak's the guy that got Christopher Eccleston to leave, right? There is no way in a million years.
He's got no connection to it.
Is he still working? I have no idea. It was this
it was
20 years ago that he did this. Have been approached direct, but nothing's been locked in. Billy Piper is playing the Doctor. I don't believe you. But this regeneration is actually the bad wolf, not that from Shooty putting regeneration energy in the console. Who gives a shit? Nobody runs that. But as a result of bad wolf spreading the phrase across time and space, they're partnering of ways. So, no, they wouldn't do it. I don't even understand it. So bad wolf interfered with this regeneration to warn the Doctor that the end of the universe is coming again. The Daleks will be the main enemy. David Tennant will return with Gemma Redgrave and Unit also back. I think all that is very likely. I think that Unit says we're going to see it again. I think he's going to want to do a tour of his second tour of duty.
Well, I don't think it's even looking at it to that level of depth. This is going to be written and shot and finished off in record time, because they will contract people. No, there is nobody well, certainly up until a couple of weeks ago, who was actually contracted to work on Doctor Who. No one, even there's no one there. So, and whoever they employ, they're going to have to agree a fixed term contract because they'll be freelancers. So it will be put together really, really quickly. So they've got pre-existing sets for stuff like Unit. You're quite right. All of that will be used. You'll get Kate Stewart dragged out one last time. You'll certainly get some of those other hangers-on dragged out one last time. Kate Stewart could be back at some point in the future. It's quite likely. But they will make this relatively cheaply because the BBC they're making it on their own as well. So everything is going to be greatly diminished. I mean, you think how cheap George of the World looked cheap as fuck.
It did, didn't it? It really did.
It was cheap and tacky. There were some great special effects in the mix in places, but it still looked shit. And I would imagine this will still. I don't know. I can't imagine that Russell T Davies will be particularly enthused, invested in this, and unless there's lots of the old actors there and he just enjoys writing for them so much.
Right.
But,
I do think David Tennant and Billy Piper is. I will be shocked if it's not them leading it, right? And I'll be shocked if the Daleks aren't in it. They just gotta want people to see it, right? New Dalek designs. Well, the new Dalek designs were in development for season 3. That didn't happen.
Yeah, they won't. Because this is it. Because this is not the start of something. This is the end of something. They won't waste a redesign of the Dalek in this. They'll either be the gold, the bronze Daleks that everybody recognizes again. The kids who were like 8 in 2005. Because this is going to be a massive exercise in nostalgia. They're going to hope that people have forgotten the last 6 or 7 years of pretty much everything they've.
Well, there's a good chance they have because nobody's seen it.
Nobody. That's the beauty of it. Nobody's watched any of the fucking stuff.
Exactly. Nobody knows how shit it is. Especially those two blokes that were talking on the podcast, right? They had no idea. So Rusty Davies' scripts are early pre-production is already underway. Don't believe you. New Dalek design. There was Dalek designs on the table. But do you reckon they can use those designs that weren't used? Do they belong to Disney?
Probably. Oh, that's a good question. No, they'd be Bad Wolf's intellectual property. They could, but I think they'd be stupid to do that because it's one less thing to wheel out. Because they are going to make. The intention is to make more series with a new showrunner between 2000 and they'll make them from 2026 to 2029 because that's when Bad Wolf's deal ends, and that means they'll be shown between 2027 and probably 2030. And so you're going to want as many bells and whistles as possible. So if you're sitting on new designs for the Daleks, as a creative, as well as I do, you'd hold that back for that big launch when that comes. There's no point in blowing your load with the first stroke.
Right, who were. So next season production is going to move from Cardiff to Birmingham. Oh yeah, good for you. Is
that what I said?
Yeah. Bullshit. Next season production might move from Cardiff to Digbeth Lock Studios. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know all about. Yeah, this is Stephen Knight's new place in Digbeth, just around the corner from a place I used to work at.
Stephen Knight, he's someone I'd like to run Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Carter's been at home for over 20 years. And finally, the season numbering will not reset. They say this is going to be season 3. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think? I don't know. I think
it'll still be season 3.
Do you think season 3 or season 1?
Yeah. It'll be season 3.
Okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
They've lost enough face as it is. If they can save a little by just maintaining admin, it'll at least give them the feeling that they've done something constructive. They're going to be smarting from this.
Yeah, and it just gets worse and worse for them, doesn't it? It just gets more embarrassing, right? I mean, again, that they announced they're moving forward without a Disney deal, without a stream partner deal, means they can't sell it to someone. I mean, that's what it seems like to me, and I do think this Christmas special is maybe to make it more saleable. I don't know if they want to get to this younger audience, and I keep saying this, they need to make just episodes for social media, right? And my other theory is don't write it so you can watch it while looking on your phone. Write it like with the level of intelligence it always has been. And I think you won't get like, massive amounts of viewers, but I think you'll get that viewer base back, and you'll get the traditional Doctor Who fan kid, which is which are on like the edges of the bell curve of society. But I think that's the best you can really hope for.
When it comes, I'd be surprised if they do any market research on Doctor Who at all now.
Yeah, it's true. The reason why 2005 worked so well is because everybody had fond memories of Doctor Who. It came on and it was good, right? They were Doctor Who, let's check it out, and it was actually good, right? Had good special effects. It looked like an American production, but it was so incredibly English. Water cooler TV. Everybody loved David Tennant when he arrived, and he took it to another level. And now we're looking at those kids to write the next generation.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will.
My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.